Terrific Tuesday today. A very good morning to you. Welcome to today's episode of Morning Well. Talk about three things. Nikkei 225 above 30,000 for the first time in 30 years. BHP earnings and some analysis on European banks. The European stock 600 climbed about 1.3%. The Gauge tracks a number of companies that are sensitive to economic performance, such as car makers and banks, whose stocks are rising as investors bet on the economic rebound. Among European equities, Vivendi surged nearly 20% after the media company said it would distribute about 60% of subsidiary Universal Music Group's share capital to shareholders and spin off its profitable music label by year end. France Bolloré, which owns more than a fourth of Vivendi, also gained about 15%. The UK FTSE 100 was the best performing major stock index in Western Europe, rising about 2.5%. The British government said over the weekend that it has reached its goal of vaccinating about 15 million people, prompting calls for a faster easing of lockdown measures. In a sign of investors' rising risk appetite, the yield on the 10-year UK gilts rose to 0.57 from 0.51 on Friday. Yields rise when bond prices fall. The British pound also strengthened about 0.4% against the dollar, trading close to a 3-year high. Italian stocks continue to rally for the third consecutive trading session. The FTSE MIB index gained about 0.9%. Mario Draghi was sworn in as the Prime Minister on Saturday, and investors are widely expecting him to push through with economic reforms. In Asia, exchanges in mainland China and Hong Kong were closed for the Chinese New Year holiday. Japan's Nikkei 225 jumped 1.9% by the close of trading, rising about 30,000 for the first time in 30 years. Fresh data showed that the Japanese economy expanded about 3% in the fourth quarter due to a recovery in domestic demand and exports beating economists' expectations. Global equities have risen for about 11 straight sessions to all-time highs, and Treasury yield curve has tested the steepest levels in more than 5 years as traders are betting on improving growth and benign inflation. Investors see a combination of government spending and vaccines driving the economy out of the pandemic. Moving on to results from BHP. BHP, the world's top miner, reported a 16% rise in the first half profit as record production from its iron ore operations in Western Australia helped it cash on sharp price gains. Underlying profit was $6 billion in the 6 months to December 31st. The Melbourne-based company said Tuesday in a statement, up from $5.2 billion in a prior corresponding period. The company will pay a record interim dividend about 1.01, up from about 0.65 last year. Iron ore is by far the biggest contributor to BHP's earnings, and the group reported last month a 33% jump in the realized iron ore prices for the December half compared to the year ago period. The CEO mentioned that our outlook for global economic growth and commodity demand remains positive, with policymakers in key economies signaling a durable commitment to growth and signaling ambitions to tackle climate change. Next, wanted to talk about European banks. I read this interesting analysis and I thought I could put it out here. European banks are using the pandemic to make changes investors have wanted for years, which is slash jobs, shut branches and force customers online. Banks are one of Europe's economic weaklings and they have been slow to change. Compared with the US peers, European banks struggle to make enough money to support lending growth. They came into the COVID-19 crisis still digesting a mountain of bad loans from the sovereign debt crisis that started more than a decade ago. The pandemic injected urgency into the situation though. The European Central Bank has leaned on banks to reform and has paved the way for cost-saving mergers. National governments, long resistant to approving bank mergers that could result in job cuts, have also changed their tune. A word on the cost. The European banks' costs are high compared to the revenue they generate. One area of low-hanging fruit is bank branches. Spain's top 5 banks closed about 8% of their branches last year and have vowed to shut down more. Despite years of cuts, the country has one of the highest number of commercial bank branches per capita in the Eurozone, which is about 49 for every 100,000 people in 2019. This is according to the IMF. If you compare it with the US, that number is about 30 for every 100,000 people. The hope is that the pandemic has taught customers how to live without frequent trips to the bank branches, which are expensive to maintain and staff costs are high. If just you look at the cost per percentage of revenue, Deutsche Bank is at about 88.3, Commerce Bank is at about 81, SocGen and Credit Suisse are about 73, 75. To give you a comparison, JP Morgan is about 54 and Citigroup is about 57.6. So lower the cost percentage, the better the profitability generally, right? Even if you look at other countries, Italy's largest bank by assets has more than 4,000 branches, on par with JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America. Despite operating in a much smaller market, Intesta plans to keep at least 3,000 branches and turn them into advice centers to sell investments and insurance. It is also channeling customers who do not want to go online towards drugstores and espresso bars through a venture with a payments processor. So far though, investors remain skeptical about whether the newfound resolve for cutting will be enough. European bank shares have languished for years. Europe's largest banks, despite having balance sheets on par with US rivals, trade at a fraction of their market value. So this whole restructuring, if it really bears fruits, remains to be seen. But I thought this is an interesting analysis to kind of look at. That's the update. Stay safe and healthy, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.